guess that's probably natural for me to be attracted to that type of female.
And I think you're naturally giving up your age,
yeah.
too.
Well, that's okay. That's okay. Another thing is self-love. I think a black woman, a woman of African descent that has natural hair, it reflects a higher level of self-love. And I say that because, you know, we live in a society that historically has, and still is the case, we have a standard of beauty that is more like a Nordic, European standard of beauty, meaning, you know, light skin, blonde hair, blue eyes. And historically, the closer you are to that physical ideal, the more beautiful you are considered. And of course, that really applies to your hair. So when a black woman in the face of this opposition still has the strength and the courage to wear her hair naturally, that speaks volumes to me in terms of how she feels about herself and her confidence and her own perceived self-worth. Another reason, I just think black women with natural hair, they have like just a naturally regal appearance. I think they're closer to their African expression. They look like queens to me, and that's just my opinion. And I want to say this while I'm on the topic too, because I know there's somebody out there that's thinking, well, Afi, you're dissing the sisters got relaxed hair. I'm not. I love all you sisters. I think you're all beautiful. I want to clarify that because I know that's what I'm going to get. My point I want to make is right now is this. You get your love. The sisters with the straight hair, some have weaves, the Beyonce looking sisters. You get your love. And I'm not saying you don't deserve it, but I'm saying too often sisters with the natural hair or with the brown to dark complexion, they don't get the hair, don't get the love. And you don't have to believe me. You can just look at the videos. You can look at the magazines. And you can see those queens that represent that natural aspect of black beauty aren't represented. So, you know, instead of pointing my finger at everyone else and waiting for someone else to speak to these issues, you know, since I recognize that it is a problem and that it is a concern, I thought it was my responsibility to step up and speak about some of these things. So that's what I'm going to do. Also, another reason, and then I'm going to let Karen do some talk, and I'm not going to ramble on all night. But another reason is health concerns. If you've ever seen the movie Good Hair, have you seen that?
Oh, you know I have.
Good Hair, and there's this little focus, a little excerpt, and I'll probably speak about that in more detail later on throughout the show. But you know, Chris Rock is sitting with the doctor, and he's talking about sodium hydroxide, which is a chemical, which I guess helps to straighten the hair. And they had a little experiment, and basically, and I'll talk about it, like I said, in more detail later. But one of the things they did, he took a drop, the doctor, and dropped it on a raw piece of chicken breast. And within moments, it literally burned a hole through the chicken breast. Now, these are the chemicals that our sisters are putting on their scalps just to straighten their hair and make it look more European or more acceptable, whatever is perceived as being acceptable in the society. And that concerns me because I'm like, okay, are we potentially poisoning ourselves just to look a certain way when we are beautiful as we are, you know, and we don't have to do that. People are telling us we have to do that. And sometimes, truthfully, that has hampered our mobility in terms of, you know, job movement upwards because we didn't look a certain way. So I can understand the pressure that goes with it. But at the same time, there are a lot of hairstyles now that look professional, whatever that is, and look sleek and look stylish. Karen can speak to that in more detail. So those are some of the reasons why I wanted to focus on this topic, you know, what's wrong with my natural hair. So without any further discussion by me, I'm going to turn this thing over to Karen. Nice to meet you, sister.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. I had two other sisters who weren't able to make it, so Karen's the focus. She's my star tonight.
I don't mind being the star.
See, she's got the smile for it, right? So I was trying to get this sister. As a matter of fact, I did a video about 2 years ago called Black Queen. And this is funny. My wife thought so highly of her. My wife now. And you know, one black woman gives love to another black woman, you know, she must be on point. So my wife said, you know, get in contact with Karen. She would be ideal. You know, but Karen, she wasn't interested at the time, but it's all good though. She didn't know me.
No, I didn't. I wasn't available either. Let me
Okay.
clarify.
Okay. So, but I got it now.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm back.
So, having said that, what do you do? I understand you work with hair.
Yes, I'm a natural hair educator, and I am a natural hair stylist. So in addition to styling natural hair, I also help women to transition from relaxed hair to natural hair.
Okay.
And I'm not only a stylist, I think it's very important that we teach women how to take care of their natural hair, because for the most part, most black women, their natural hair is foreign to them. Their hair has been relaxed or straightened since they were children. So it's important for me that I teach them how to style their hair and how to understand their hair so that they can embrace it and love what God gave them.
That's right. I like that. How long have you worn natural hair?
I did my big chop, so I cut off all my relaxed hair in 2008.
Okay, about 4 years ago.
Yeah, and I just cut off all my relaxed hair. Okay. So it's only been 4 years, but it seems like it's been 40 years. Yeah. It seems like it's been a really, really long time, but it's only been 4 years.
Now, what was the motivation for you doing that?
At that time, I've always been a hairstylist, so I know hair. I know the importance of healthy hair too. But I noticed with my hair, even though at the time my hair was relaxed and straight, it was long, I just noticed that it had started to thin out. Just 5, 6 years, I would look back at pictures from when I was 25 to 30. My hair was still long, but it had started to thin out. And because I'm a stylist and I know hair, and I feel like for the most part, even with my relaxed hair, I felt like my hair was healthy or I was treating it healthy, but I attributed it to the relaxer. And I think the relaxer was making my hair thin out. Okay. So that's why I just cut it off. And now it is thick and full and fabulous, chemical free.
Did you hear that, ladies?
Thick and full and fabulous, chemical free.
Chemical free. Is that something that other women have maybe had issues with, maybe thinning of the hair related to the chemicals?
You know, it could be, it's not just the chemical. It could be a number of factors that thin your hair out. Age being one, diet, exercise, that has a lot to do with hair loss. But some women have reported or complained that they too believe it's from the relaxer. And with the relaxer, it's typically they notice it after having relaxed hair for years, like me. My hair was very healthy for years. Even with the relaxer, I felt my hair was healthy. But at some point, maybe after having that relaxer for about 20 years, I felt like it was causing my hair to thin out over time. So some women will attribute it to the relaxer, but it could be other factors that may cause hair loss and thinning.
Okay. This is an interesting question.
All right.
Because when you change in any way, it's going to have an impact on those around you. Family, friends, boyfriends, husbands, daughters, sons, whatever. How did people react when you went natural?
Oh, well, my mom hated it. My family hated it. They could not believe I cut off all of my long, straight hair. So initially, friends and family did not like it. For the most part, they didn't like it. But over time, they warmed up, particularly my mom and my sisters, and after a few months, they were natural too. Oh. But yeah.
Wow.
After a few months, they were natural too. But I mean, it's different. It's a change, and some people are not comfortable with change. So most people didn't like it initially. But then there are other people who loved it. Because I cut my hair off very short. Not as short as yours. I had a
I got it down close. No,
yes, I had a little bit more hair than that. But it was relatively short, and I was just used to having long hair. So it was different. But some people liked it. But for the most part, the people who were closest to me didn't like it. They could not believe I cut off all my hair. But at the time, I had a friend, and he really liked it. My boyfriend, he loved it. I mean, he loves it now, but he absolutely loved my natural hair. And that was, if he loved it, I mean, in all honesty, I didn't care what other people thought, but it was important for me at that time that he liked it. Yes, I'm still a woman, and I wanted my man to like my hair, and he loved it.
That is
and
important.
He preferred it natural versus relaxed.
That's important. And I was going to ask you that next because I know some dudes, they prefer straight hair, long hair, whatever the case may be. And I was wondering how that affected your relationship,
Oh,
either with your boyfriend or any men that might have any potential interest in you.
well, I can say this. With my boyfriend at the time, he loved it. And like I said, that was the only thing that was important.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of his upbringing, he was raised in a house where the women in his house had natural hair. So natural hair was normal to him, not relaxed hair. So he had a different perspective.
Okay.
So that's the difference. But in terms of other relationships, particularly those that I hear from other people in terms of men, most men, I have 3 brothers, and my brothers, they like long hair. I mean, they like what they like. But at some point, it's not the hair, it's the person that you fall in love with. But then I know a little bit about men too. I know men are visual, you know, you like what you like.
Right.
So it has, in terms of me, it had not really affected my relationships to the negative. It actually strengthened them.
Okay.
Because when I went natural, it brought about a confidence about me that I really didn't know was missing. That I could have my natural hair and still feel confident and still be fabulous.
Okay.
So it certainly has increased my confidence as a result of wearing my natural hair.
Okay. That's what I like to hear. So that was my perception was correct when I was talking about courage and self-love, some of those things I spoke to earlier.
Absolutely. I mean, all honesty, with age, at some point in terms of women and self-esteem, I dealt with self-esteem issues. But at, you know, after 30, I won't give up my age either. You know, I'm very confident.
31, okay.
Oh yeah, I'm 31. Yeah, okay. But I'm confident, I'm fine now.
Right.
So but at some point when I went natural, like I said, I didn't have any issues with my esteem by the time I did go natural. But when I was able to wear my hair in its natural state, I realized that I was more confident. So it was like this confidence that was missing, that I didn't know was missing until I cut my hair off.
Wow.
Now, I thought that was profound. I couldn't figure it out
Isn't
for a
it
while.
something?
It is. It's like it's when you can step out and do that which is opposite of what most people do. That is a level of courage and bravery that most people may not have.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
and a lot of people say, "Oh, Karen, you're so brave to wear your natural hair." And I meet so many people who want to go natural, but it may be difficult for them, and they see me and others as having courage that they don't have yet.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
it's coming.
It's coming, absolutely. It's getting, my wife herself, she has locks. How you doing, honey? Mavis, if she's watching. I want to do this too. While we're talking, before it slips my mind, I want you to tell people, if you like to, how they can contact you. You know, if they're interested, you know, in getting some of your services.
No problem.
Talk to the camera.
I'm Karen Wilson. My business is Karen Wilson Natural Beauty. I am located in White Oak Shopping Center in Salon Plaza. I'm right in the front, so you can't miss me. My website is www.karenwilsonbeauty.com. Again, that's www.karenwilsonbeauty.com. I can be reached by email at info. You told me to do it.
No, give it to them.
Info, I-N-F-O, at karenwilsonbeauty.com.
Okay.
I
want to run
think
it
we got it.
Give it to them one more time.
One more time.
Yeah, I don't mind.
The website is karenwilsonbeauty.com. The email address is info, I-N-F-O, at karenwilsonbeauty.com. And you can also follow me on Facebook at Karen Wilson Natural Beauty and on Twitter at Natural Curl Talk. I think they got it.
I think they got it. Okay. Let's see. Now, what other business ventures? Do you have any other business ventures?
Well, right now, this is my sole focus, my natural hair business. I did work in psychology for almost 10 years. I left the psychology department back in 2010 so that I can focus on natural hair. Up until that, I had always done hair on the side. For many, many years, I've always loved hair, but I didn't desire to do it full time until I went natural, until I wanted to focus on natural hair. And at the time, I wanted to get to know natural hair more. And the only way to do that, the best way to do that for me is to do it, is to